welcome to our resourceful home. Today I am canning tomatoes. I thought I would share with you the two methods that I use, the cold pack method and a hot pack method. If you're interested, here we go. The procedures for the jars, the lids, the peeling of the tomatoes, all of that is the same with the cold pack or the hot pack method. You will of course need tomatoes, the ripest ones that you can find. Your jars with new lids and rings. Make sure they are cleaned well with hot soapy water and kept hot. I've placed my jars in the oven at 200 degrees for at least 15 minutes. You will need a pot of boiling water, another small pot of water. I bring this up to a boil, then drop the temperature, put my rings and seals in there, then cover with a lid and keep those hot until I'm ready to place them on the jars. A bowl of ice water, a strainer, and you'll need a good knife. You want to get your water bath canner on and heat it up. Now I try to get all that stuff prepped before I start working with my tomatoes. Okay, time to blanch the tomatoes. Do this a few at a time. Just leave them there for a few seconds. Scoop them out. And then I will put more tomatoes in here. As I take this bunch, dump them in the ice water. Scoop them out of the ice water and let them sit in a strainer. Then come back and do it again until I get all of the tomatoes through this process. This is kind of what we're looking for. See how easily that skin slips off there? Cut out your core. Make sure you get all your green out or any bad spots. Now from here, it's up to you. Leave them whole, cut them in half, quarter them, dice them. I'm just going to quarter them and place them in a bowl. I now have all of the tomatoes ready to go in the jars. Here is where things start to differ. Cold pack versus hot pack. We will start with the cold packing method. Remove a hot jar from the oven. The funnel. Let's fill this up. I try to get to the bottom and get a little juice with each scoop. Press this down, add a few more. You want to press until you get all the spaces filled up with juice. You need to leave ½ inch headspace, so I fill to this rim. I add 1 teaspoon of salt to each quart. Now the ball guidelines recommend adding lemon juice. Recommend you go by their guidelines. Personally, this is just the way I've always done it, and so I don't want to try it. Take a knife or a spatula and carefully run around the outside of your jar to release any air bubbles. And if you lose some depth there, just add a little more and do it again. Now, wipe your rim. Place your hot lid and seal. Finger tighten. Ready to go in the canner. Now I'm going to continue on till I have all these jarred up, and I'll meet you at the canner. Okay, we're at the canner now. So when you place them in your water bath canner, make sure your lids are covered in water by 1 inch. I'm going to place the lid on here. Watch for it to come back up to a boil. Once it starts, I will time it for 45 minutes. Our 45 minutes are up. I'm just going to pull them out and show you what I have. There we go. Sealed, dated, and the rings removed, ready to be stored. Now, for the hot pack method, I've placed the tomatoes in a large saucepan. I will slowly bring those up to a boil, keeping a close eye on them to make sure they don't stick. Once it reaches a boil, let it boil for 5 minutes, making sure to keep it stirred. 5 minutes is up. It's time to start jarring these up. You need a hot jar from the oven, a funnel, a ladle, and just carefully ladle it in. Fill your jars, leaving a ½ inch headspace. I usually just go to the rim. Take a knife or a spatula and carefully run around the outside of your jar to release any air bubbles. And if you lose some depth there, just add a little more and do it again. Add a teaspoon of salt. clean around your rim. Get a seal and a ring from your hot water and finger tighten. That one is ready to go in the canner. I'm going to continue this process until I have all of my tomatoes jarred up. Once you have dropped your jars in there, make sure your lids are covered in water about an inch. Place your lid back on and bring it back up to a boil. Process it for 45 minutes. After you remove your jars from the canner, place them in a well-ventilated area on a flat surface with gaps in between so the airflow can get through there, and leave them for at least 12 hours. It has been almost 24 since I removed the last of these from the canner. Once they're cooled down, check, make sure the centers are down. If not, don't force them. If they are sealed, they're ready to remove the rings, date them, and store them. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Come back and visit us again soon. Have a wonderful day. May God bless you.